Let's travel to the distant future of AniMay18, your daily dose of anime every day in May. Dang, am I still doing this 12 years later? Okay then, it's 2030, present day, and the setting of today's anime, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. As far as influential must-see anime goes, Akira, Spirited Away, Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell is a highly regarded classic. An adult sci-fi action film steeped in 90s cyberpunk and dripping with atmosphere. I've still never seen it, and I didn't watch it for this video, but I've been told Standalone Complex is just as gripping, if not the definitive entry in the Ghost in the Shell franchise. So, what's it like to dive in head first, and did the show grab my attention like I thought it would? Standalone Complex is a sci-fi police procedural set in the near future, and you can tell it's the future because there's a coffee machine in the bathroom! High tech. The show chronicles the many cases of Japan's Public Security Section 9, led by Lieutenant Colonel Daisuke Aramaki, Major Motoko Kusanagi, and the rest of their investigations team. Section 9 is the highest and most secretive order of the government police force, think FBI or MI5, tasked with counterterrorism and cyber warfare missions. In this future, the majority of the population has robotic prosthetics or implants, as little as Wi-Fi chips and USB plugs to your brain, or complete cyberization of all body parts and a fully synthetic cyber brain, which is the case for old Motoko here. I guess being a cyborg means giving up parts of your humanity, like wearing pants, for example. The series' title derives from the Arthur Koestler philosophical psychology book, The Ghost in the Machine, here referring to cyborgs retaining a fraction of their humanity through their soul, or ghost. Even manufactured robots and androids exhibit emotions that could be considered burgeoning ghosts. The ramifications of body mods and the nature of humanity are recurring themes across most cyberpunk narratives, but Standalone Complex takes a very scientific angle and really fleshes out the intricate systems of its world building. It's actually kind of a lot to take in immediately. I wonder if I would have felt more prepared had I watched the 95 film first, because I didn't even know Motoko was a cyborg and these other guys with weird cyber eyes weren't until I started researching afterwards. I mean, it's not necessary information for the first 6 episodes at least, but you just have to accept that everyone has plugs in their neck and can jump and fight really good. It kinda lines up with other superhuman James Bond-style police stories anyway. The first 3 episodes are considered standalones because they're self-contained vignette crime dramas. Illegal body swapping, planting your brain inside a mechanized tank, sending out a virus to kill off thousands of sex androids. You know, the usual stuff. Most of my confusion came from not understanding the significance of Section 9 or the government officials they were trying to protect. Also, the show throws around some jargon that just sounds ridiculous. All this talk about bringing in the cyber police to stop the cybercrime, hacking everyone's cyber brains. It's kinda silly watching this 13 years after it aired, but it was never too distracting. After getting a taste of what Section 9 is all about, the show launches into a much larger arc, or complex, centered around the Laughing Man. This unknown terrorist group can protect their identity by projecting their logo over their face onto any camera or digital display, even hacking every bystander's eye in real time. A little excessive, since I would think a mask would be just as effective. They can also hijack security guards and civilians to do their dirty work for them. Really crazy concepts like that make for a real nail-biter of a series, but with so many twists and turns and betrayals, I found myself less invested in trying to predict what would happen and simply trying to keep up with what was happening. A great twist pays off by sidestepping a viewer's expectations, but if the viewer has no sense of what is even happening or what the limitations of the world are, the twists just feel like contrivances. So far, there doesn't seem to be a cap on what the Laughing Man or any of these characters can do. You can spy on anyone by implanting these interceptor cameras into their eyeballs, you can hijack anybody to kill themselves or kill someone for you, you can blind anyone in any camera, you can be completely invisible, you can jump 1,000 feet and probably just replace all your body parts, you can put your brain in a briefcase and carry it around with you. How isn't everyone constantly getting screwed in this universe? That's not to say any of these concepts aren't cool or interesting, far from it. But for being such a grounded, serious drama, I had a hard time caring about putting the pieces together and just kinda let the show unfold in whatever convoluted way it wanted. There's also a lot of confusing politics and bureaucracy and subterfuge that I just didn't care for. What I do love are the characters and the presentation. Motoko is an obvious badass and a pleasure to watch, but Bato and the boys are pretty entertaining as well. The Tachikoma Think Tank robots are all adorable and well designed, and the action set pieces are really exciting. Besides the OP, I never really noticed the soundtrack, which is probably pissing off some fans if they even stuck around this long. It's cool and unobtrusive, but only during the more dramatic scenes. The setting is actually pretty toned back from a lot of cyberpunk universes, especially from the live-action interpretation. Yeesh. Overdesigned much? Things look mostly normal, with Japanese residential districts largely familiar except with crazy mech spiders running around. The tech within Section 9 headquarters isn't too far flung from modern CSI shows. Even guns and phones and laptops are grounded in early 2000s tech. But that's okay because it makes the world feel less daunting. I'm already spending most of my brainpower keeping track of all the crazy brain technology and wireless mind chatting. Yeah, wait. Everyone can just talk to each other by thinking, right? Why are there still cell phones and laptops sending emails? Maybe that's just a Section 9 thing. Anyway, I'm really not knocking Standalone Complex. There's a lot to like and chew on, and I'm sure if I took the time to get embroiled in the Laughing Man case I would get more invested, but I'm fine putting this one on the back burner for now. Perhaps I'd have a more satisfying time watching a more self-contained story like the original film, but we'll have to save that for next year. But until then, let's rewind the clock back to good old AniMay18, and I'll catch you tomorrow for a new show.